Well, here we are again. I got it's well, it's fairly nice out other than the wind, and I'm gonna apologize about the wind, but I gotta get going on this project, because I'm gonna need this wood splitter right off here soon. And so yeah, I gotta get started. I can't wait another day. Last week there, the last Tuesday, my old dog passed away, and you know, so I didn't mount a whole lot last week. I was in kind of a funk, so I'm just getting started on this now. I'd like to have it done and over to the job by Thursday or Friday, but I don't know. I've learned now, you know, we just take it a day at a time. But anyway, so what we have here is a let me get these gloves out of here. This is an old American wood splitter. I don't know, it's probably one of the earlier ones ever made, actually, because I've never seen one with brass slides right here, whatever you want to call those. They've always been metal with grease fittings, and it's so here, this is the what's left of the tag. You can kind of see right there, it says American Wood Splitters, but this is a fairly old one. And I got it, I don't know, probably 10 years ago. I was over on a job in Hardwick, and it's one of them jobs where, you know, I just couldn't make any money. And a guy had this splitter, and he was gonna wanted to cut this part off right here where this is attached, and weld some other kind of piston on there. But I said to him, I said, "Wow, you want to sell that? Because, you know, it's a fairly rugged looking splitter." And he said, "Okay." And I bought it for $800, but it didn't have the piston, because he had some funny piston he wanted to put on. It didn't have a motor. It had a pump, but it was only a 22 gallon a minute pump. And so I got it for $800, and put a Chinese I don't know, a Chinese motor on it. Well, that's a Chinese motor too, but a different kind of Chinese motor with a new 22 gallon a minute pump. And a guy down Charlie Boys back, they had a place called a truck parts place called Charlie Boys down in Burlington, and he was a guy down there, was a hydraulic guy, and he gave me that piston right there. So I put that on, but that piston has some problems because it's not long enough. I think it's only, I don't know, it's only 22 inch. So what happened when I first put it on, there weren't enough room here to hook up like this. I don't know what it had for a setup before, but it would only go out to like here. So you'd have to use the other block every time to push the wood, the next block to push the other wood through, which was a nightmare. So I welded on a piece of, I don't know, round stock, and used it, but it really isn't ideal, because it limited it down to 22 inch wood being the biggest size that fits in here, and I want to have 24. And that piston right there isn't very fast. And then I bought this motor here when the other, I don't know, I think I got one of them motors up there in my junk pile, but it was an old I don't know, 16 horse 1-cylinder. Well, that one rattled apart, because that's what happens with the Chinese motors. I bought this one from Harbor Freight, and it's a V-twin knockoff Honda. Sure don't run like a Honda, but it's been fairly good. And then the way it's set on there it isn't good, because it wouldn't fit. I just put it on there crooked. And then the exhaust, see how I got this rigged up? I should have welded a piece in. It's been like that for a few years. I just don't ever do anything with it, because the only time I do wood is usually month of May into June. And then once I go back to the woods, I don't do cut and split wood, because it's just takes too much time. So what happens is this this combination of this exhaust and this size pump, and it heats up the oil really hot, and it's not enough capacity there, and it takes out the pumps. I go through like a pump a year. Of course, they're Chinesium pumps, so I'm sure they're not the greatest to begin with. That 28 gallon a minute cast iron, but I'm sure they should last longer than a year. So I need to do a lot of things to this year, because I don't know, it's time. I got enough money, might as well do it. I got to take the motor off. I got to cut this all off, take this tank off, and take this fuel tank. Here's another issue. This was one of the fuel tanks. That was the fuel tank off the motor they used to set on here, and it was a Duromax. So, you know, these Chinese tanks are just garbage. Look it down inside. I don't know if you can see that, but that thing is rusted. And no matter what you do, keep it full of gas or anything, it just constantly rusts. And this was on here. It's just recently come off, I guess. I let somebody borrow it, and when they brought it back, it wasn't on there. But it's always been a pain. You always had to make sure to keep track of this thing. So I guess it's for like a vent or something. But yeah, I got to take this tank off, cut off all that, and I want to move this motor over here. And I got a different tank that's got quite a bit more capacity to put over here, so that way the exhaust from the motor blows out that way. And I got a new piston. We'll look at that in a minute. I got a new piston. I want to put that on. I got a new valve, and a bunch of work. I'm gonna cut these wings off right here, and I want to move them down a little lower, because what happens right now, you split a piece of wood, and you got too big a piece down here for nowadays. People don't, they want small wood all the time, smaller. I don't know what kind of stoves they got, but they want wood split smaller. So if I move these down, I don't know, probably here somewhere, we'll get you know, 2 good pieces off the bottom, and then we may have to pull the top back and resplit it. But I'm thinking on putting a 6-way, a piece like this on here as well, but I'm not sure. I might try it, put it on. If I don't like it, cut it off, I guess. And that's got to be done. And well, we got this issue here. It needs may need a new bearing. I don't know. Needs a new cap for sure. Probably repack the bearings if they're still good. And yeah, this is quite a project. I wanted to do a whole lot more, but like I said, time's getting away from me. I wanted to take the axle out from underneath of it and raise it up probably another foot or whatever would put it close to waist height, waist level. And then I wanted to get put some jacks on it so I could just lift it right up with the jacks. But time's running away, and I got to get this thing over to the job because I got wood orders to start filling. I don't know about if you guys, any of you guys do wood, but you know, let me know in the comments if you raised your prices this year. I'm thinking on raising my price up because I was at $250, and last year I was at $250. I had a few people come. I was at $225 the year before, but I last year, due to the cost, you know, the extra cost associated with doing wood, even pulling wood, all of it, I raised it up to $250. I had some people complain, but you know, I told them, well, if you get it cheaper somewhere else, go ahead. I mean, I don't care. Do whatever you want. But this year, you know, the pulpwood was so valuable that a lot of people sent all their wood pulp, and a lot of people didn't keep nowhere near the amount of firewood they normally keep from the winter. So I'm hearing the prices are up around $300. So I don't know. I might end up, maybe I'll start off and try my price at $300 for, you know, any new customers. Keep it at $250 for ones that have been with me for a while, and we'll see. But yeah, so anyway, what I'm planning on doing is putting some gas in this and starting it, and we'll time we'll do the cycle time, figure out what the cycle time is on this, and then we'll do it again once it's all done to see if because I'm trying to make it quite a lot faster. So yeah, just another side note here. So I got this one too. This is a Timberwolf, I don't know, TWP1. It's a homeowner splitter. I bought this, well, the first splitter I ever bought was Tractor Supply, one of those red Husky 22-ton with the it has the wedge on it right on the ram, which is, wow, for anybody that's a serious wood guy, and that doesn't work. You know, it pushes through here, and you got to handle all the wood. I want my wood to go right through and out. I got an elevator. I never run the elevator with this, but yeah, this is the second splitter I ever bought. I bought it used for like $1,750. It was back in 14 or whatever. And it come with this motor on it, little Honda 6-horse, and that size pump, but that's a new pump. That's 11 gallon a minute. And I used the hell out of that thing. I mean, I ended up putting a 16-horse motor on it with like a, I don't know if it was an 18 gallon a minute pump, which made it quite a lot faster, a little stronger. But I mean, it came with a 4-way, and I busted the 4-way all to hell. And then I welded this on, which isn't really ideal either. And yeah, use this, I don't know, probably 500-600 cords or more. But I got it back out. It sat probably 3 or 4 years, and I got it back out last year because I had a cook stove. I still have a cook stove, wood cook stove. It likes small wood, so I've cut a bunch of 16-inch firewood and just split it normal with the big splitter. Brought it home, dumped it out, and then used this splitter to split the wood real small for the cook stove. I mean, it worked all right, but handling the wood, you know, more than you have to. But yeah, we might start this one up too and do the cycle times. So this one here, so this one here I put here last fall. It's gonna be out of the way of the plowing, and I put that sled was covering the motor. But anyway, I don't know if it's gonna start or not, but I'd like to start it and see what kind of cycle time this one does, if I can. Hasn't been run for, well, 4 or 5 months probably. Check the oil in this one. Oh yeah, tons of oil. I think it's overfull on oil. So it's not a good sign. So maybe the gas ran down in the oil. Nope. Because it's tilted that way. Classic oil caps. It's got plenty of oil in it. See how we are. The gas is. Oh, it looks like it says it's on. Well, that's never a good sign. Choke this way. Right here. There we go. Choke that way. Gas. Looks like it says on right there. Uh-oh. So who knows if this will start. Maybe it's full of gas in the oil. I don't know. It's on. Let's try it. Yeah, good old Honda. You can't kill these Hondas, man. Uh-oh. Well, you can kill these Hondas. All you gotta do is move the throttle. That's maximum high pressure. Fast as it goes. So I'm gonna time the cycle here just so I can say it. Do a few runs first before we go to timing it. Yeah, slow that one in. Yeah, well, anyway, that's that wood splitter. Maybe I'll shut the gas off this time. Who knows when I'll ever use this. So I think I'm going to split my house wood on the big splitter after I fix it. So yeah, the cycle time here was a little over 13 seconds, which is quite a bit slower than the other one actually. I thought it would have been faster, but when I had the 18 gallon a minute pump on it, it was quite a bit faster. I'm going to try to start this this wood splitter. Now I don't have any gas in it. I gotta put some gas in it. And the last time I run this was probably, I think in the fall. Hasn't really been ran since the fall. I don't know, I let a guy borrow it to finish up some wood he had over on a job, so he brought it back. Well, he had it all winter sitting at his place, and he brought it back a few weeks ago, but it hasn't been run, I think, since fall, so who knows if it'll start. And of course, the only gas that I have on hand is chainsaw gas, so it's mixed gas, but it'll run it. I just want to do the cycle time and show you how it works, and then after we're done the work to it, we'll come back and do a cycle time and see what we gained. We'll put some gas in this and see if she's going to start and run. I don't know. It usually gives me trouble because of the rust that's in this tank. It gets down in the well, it's got a fuel filter, so I don't know. It just, something gets in the carburetor and gums up the jets, and I gotta take the carburetor apart usually if it sits any amount of time, but we'll see. We might get lucky and it might start right up. That's what I hope anyway. Oh, I probably should bleed the fuel filter. It's not, it's got a bunch of air in it. And try starting it, see what happens. Oh, the choke lever's frozen in. Wow. Sitting out in the weather hasn't done it any favors. I don't even know if the key will start. This right here is WD-40. It says insect killing soap, but I buy WD-40 in the gallons and put it in here because it's cheaper than buying the cans. I hate giving any more money to these people than I gotta. Alright, so now choke's on, I guess. Oh, that throttle's sticky too. Wow, this thing is really, really sticky. I would like to change the motor to a real Honda. Wow, what I really want to do is change it to something else, but well, let's see if it's there. yeah, I went and I run it some, and I got a 10.55 second cycle time when I timed it on my phone. Now I'm going to time it when I do the editing to make sure that's fairly accurate, but that's not even six blocks a minute if they all split, you know, right off. So, you know, it's pretty slow if you ask me. And it's leaking oil. You can see now it's all over there. It's leaking out of here and out of here, and maybe even out of the back. And I already warmed the oil up. Just that running a little bit warmed that up quite a lot. So, you know, and the pump is, you know, pretty much shot. So there's a lot of work needs to be done here. So yeah, my best understanding, the way this works is this pump right here is a two-stage log splitter pump, is what they call them, because they're used in mostly log splitters and maybe trash compactors. But so it would be pumping, probably it pumps low pressure high volume or high pressure low volume, depending on demand. So, you know, I think the low pressure is about 500 psi, and that's what you're using when you're pushing that out. Or in the case of this one, and you know, nice straight grain piece of ash, it doesn't ever kick down into the lower stage. So it's much faster in the first stage. If it needs more power, which is higher pressure, it will it'll call for it. I don't know, something in the valves, in the valves in here. I mean, I'm not a hydraulic guy, but I got a basic understanding of it. When it calls for more pressure, it switches to lower volume, higher pressure, so you can push through a, you know, a knot or whatever. So that's my understanding of these two-stage pumps. You know, a piston pump would probably be just as good but it would be way more expensive. But these are, you know, the price is right, and they work good. So that pump is pushing fluid through these hoses, right through this hose actually, into this valve. And if you're not using any function, it's running right back to the tank. And then when you start using either function, it puts it in whichever end of the cylinder. I think this would be on the return end, and that would be on the forward end, and then it pushes it out. So the more fluid volume you can get through here, the faster it's going to be. So having 1/2 inch ports here with 3/4 inch ports out here, no good. It should be 3/4 inch working ports as well. So this valve was on eBay back when I done this splitter. I think it was like 50 bucks. Now it's probably 100. I think it is 100. And I bought it so I could get going, but I want to make this thing faster. So we're going to be changing that valve, that pump, and this piston. And that piston's shot anyway. So I have this this stuff here, and this is a new pump, 28 gallon per minute cast iron. I don't remember where I got that. I think I got that last year. We'll look at that. And then in here, I haven't even opened this stuff yet, is a valve like the one that's on the splitter, but with 3/4 inch working ports. And here is a new piston that's going to be a lot faster, and I'll show you why when I haven't opened this stuff. I got it a couple weeks ago and just left it on my porch, but I got it from Rugged Made. It's upside down, but I'm not sponsored by them, not sponsored by anybody. I don't really plan on ever being sponsored, because usually, as soon as, you know, people that take sponsors are a lot of times are grifters, as far as I can tell. But anyway, so I'm not sponsored by this company, and I've never dealt with them before other than ordering this. And the price was $680 for the valve and the cylinder, and I think that was including shipping. Shipping was quite a bit. It's out of Massachusetts, so it's really not that far from here. But it was really fast shipping, I'll give them that. And you know, we'll see how this stuff works and the quality of it. And I'm not going to pull any punches. If I don't like it, I'll tell you. So yeah, let's open up some of this stuff and see what we got. Check out on this label here, UPS label. It says UPS carbon neutral shipment. I wonder if they had an electric UPS truck that hauled this all the way from Massachusetts up here. So there, we got this valve. Well, we got some paper, and then we got another box. What we have, get this box out. So this is rugged made Logsplitter, single spool, 25 gallon a minute, 3/4 inch MPT work ports, 3/4 inch MPT inland outlet ports, 3-position return detent, adjustable detent and relief pressure. The package is up nice, I'll give them that. See if I can get it out of here now. Alright, so got us an owner's manual. The handle and this is all the same as this. Same setup as this valve. Probably made by the same company. Huh. Well, I'll take that out and we'll look at it. So there's the valve. I took it out of its packaging. It's got plenty of oil on it. Guess it's good, it won't rust. So really it's pretty much the same as that one, other than just the size of the ports, the working ports. Other than that, it's the same valve, which I don't know, that one's been good, so must be this one will be good. Anyway, so it says maximum operating pressure 3500, maximum operating temperature 180. Well, that thing over there was operating at above 180, that's for sure. All right, so yeah, we'll check this piston out. So here's what we're working with here. It's cylinder is a 4.5 inch ID, 24 inch stroke, 3 inch rod, 2.375 inch rod end, which is still big. It may even be bigger, I don't know. And 1 inch for 1 inch pin, 3/4 NPT port, clevis mount. So yeah, that's what we have. And let me get it out of the package and we'll talk about it. So there's the cylinder. It's like a fairly nice cylinder, but you can see difference right here between this and a lot of wood splitters is the size of the rod. And I did that for a reason. The bigger your rod, the faster your return is going to be. I don't know if it helps the I don't think it helps the when it's pushing, but it'll speed up your return quite a bit. So what happens is you get a, you know, this is 4.5 inch outside diameter, 4.5 inch outside diameter, and this rod is a 3 inch rod right there. And that would you know, leave you what, about 1.5 inches of space to fill with oil. But on the back side, I think you're going to be filling the 4.5 inch, the whole 4.5 inch. So I don't know if it'll help you on the pushing cycle, but definitely on the return it'll speed it up probably twice as fast as it was. That's what I'm hoping. But that's why you go with a bigger rod if you want more speed. Anyways, so yeah, we got 3/4 inch port. Well, I'm probably not, yeah, they come off. There's that. These little plastic plugs there. This is a 1 inch pin end here. This is a welded cylinder, see? Instead of a tie rod cylinder, that's a tie rod cylinder. The rods hold it all together. But a welded cylinder is much better. And you can still rebuild it. You got to just span a wrench in here and turn that out, or well, chisel, whatever you want. But yeah, so that's what we got. I'm gonna do some measuring over on the wood splitter and see if we're gonna have to make any major changes. Right here we have 29 and basically 3/4 to the cylinder body, and then obviously this is going to be inside of a round thing on the wedge. But yeah, if you look right here, I think the big problem is going to happen. It's going to be right here. So the diameter of this, the diameter here is too small on the inside to fit that rod, for sure. So what's gonna have to happen is I'm gonna have to pull that head off, and I'm gonna have to cut this off and get us a piece of a round stock, or I don't know, tube actually is what you call it. Thick wall though. See, that's got to be at least, that's got to be 3/8, and weld it on. But the only problem that I can see is right here, this angle gusset. It may end up getting down into that, and I may have to cut it and, I don't know, fit it up somehow. I'm not sure. So first thing I'll have to do is get the cylinder in there and see where it's all going to land. But that's going to be a project there that's going to have to get changed. Hopefully nothing back here will have to get changed. I measured this, and actually what happened when I put this cylinder on back in the day, this was too wide. Wouldn't fit here. So I took a grinder to this, and I don't know, hopefully I didn't mess with the hole on the inside, because, you know, that could get it off crooked or whatever. But I don't remember. But I do remember having to grind the hell out of this to get this, pound that cylinder on right there. But over there, I've measured this cylinder, and we got more room right here. Oh, my measuring tape. I'm always losing my stuff. There should be. So inside that, between those, we got an inch and, I don't know, it's an inch and 3/16 basically. And right now, this metal, I mean, we'll measure back here, because, so it's an inch and a little, it's about an inch and 3/16. So boy, but I've ground that, so it won't be tight, but that still would be fairly tight, because that is about the same size as this. But I think we'll be all right. So all in all, it shouldn't be too bad, but just putting a new piece on for that. So I'm gonna call it good for now. I got some other stuff to do, and I'm gonna need some torch gas, and maybe I'll go get that. But I'll come back later on, and I'm gonna pressure wash this tonight and let it dry overnight, so tomorrow I can start stripping it, because I mean, I don't feel like tearing it all apart with all this oil all over it. It's just going to make a bigger mess all over. I was unable to do the pressure washing yesterday, because the pipes that go out to my outdoor spigot were, I don't know, they must have froze this winter and split, so I had major leaks when I turned on my outdoor water. So I fixed that this morning, and now I'm going to do some pressure washing. So I'll probably throw it on time lapse for that. So I've pressure washed this thing, and it's had time to dry off. Looks quite a bit better without all that sawdust and oil on it, but it is leaking oil right out of that cylinder. Just sitting here. So that cylinder is way shot. So I'm gonna start taking this thing apart, and I'll probably set it up in time lapse or something, because this, you know, this is kind of tedious. Take everything apart. It's going to take a while. So yeah, so that's where we're at right now. Well, here we are again. Oh, it's Thursday, and I haven't really been hasn't really been going to plan. I had a lot of other things that I've had to do, and kind of going not too fast on this, but this is what we got. I've took apart most everything off it. Now I got to do some torching. Got to torch this stuff off, that thing there. Then I've got this tank here I got, well, on that trip to Buffalo, I guess. And I'm going to use this for the hydraulic tank. And here's the, I don't know what they call it, ram, I don't know. And that plate was, see that brass plate? It's pretty well toast. That was right here, right on here to, I don't know, stop it from wearing this or whatever. And there's the slides there. So I got to figure out what I'm gonna do about that. I don't know if I'm gonna go with brass again. Brass is pretty expensive. But yeah, this thing here, I don't know if it has any leaks. I pressure washed it, and gonna see. If not, I'm gonna clean it up and paint it gray. So that's kind of an update on where we're at on this project. And I'm gonna get to torching. So I'll probably shoot that in time-lapse mode. Well, it's May the 16th, and I don't know. It's spitting snow a little bit out here. See that? It's pretty cold. It's supposed to be down in the 20s tonight, but I'm still at it on this project. It's kind of not going it's not going too good. It's going pretty slow. And yeah, I got this drop down. It's not the prettiest right here. When I did the torching, I kind of nicked into it some. But the 4-ways drop down, so it should split about a 4-inch piece. And got it tipped up on its side. We're going to put a mount right over here for the motor. But yeah, I just wanted to give a little update of what was happening here. I'm not filming all of this because it takes a while to film, and you know, it's not that interesting to watch. It's kind of tedious. So yeah, it's just an update of how this wood splitter is going. We got some problems here. I'm gonna have to cut this off because this is not big enough for the new piston, and a lot of other small things. I was hoping to get it done by the end of the week, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, just an update. This thing is turning into quite the project. So I'm just doing an update, quick update, because I don't want to video all of it. It's so slow and tedious, and you know, it would always be in time lapse anyway. So anyway, I got to do a little more work on these welds here because this was on its side when I welded it. So I'm gonna do a little more work on those welds. I think they're pretty good. We've got the 4-way wings drop down, so they're gonna make a nice nice piece of wood. They were up too high before, and if you put on like an 8-inch piece of round wood, it would just peel the top and give you this little sliver, and then make this big piece on the bottom. They had to re-split. So I think this is going to be a big improvement. But so I brought the piston over, and this is how this job's been going anyway. Let me get over here and show you. Seem to be standing in the light. So this job's been going like this all along. So this thing right here I had to go buy. It's a piece of bushing stock because it fits on here. So I'm gonna have to cut the other one off the ram and weld that onto it because the other one's not quite big enough. And then we have right here, we have this piston. This right here, this is too thick. This doesn't fit on it. Now back when I put that other piston on, I had ground this quite a bit so I could get that other piston on it. But I think I'd ground one side more than the other, so I think the piston was sitting a little crooked in there. So I'm going to grind it so that it fits on there good. So it's going to take a while because I'm going to grind all the way out in here, all the way down here. I think I'm going to grind a 1/4 inch between the two sides. And this is just that's just the way this project's been going anyway. So I got this tank, and I'm gonna get a turnbuckle, cut this chain off, and put a turnbuckle in here for like a tank strap. And they come off that right there. That's all hood to an old tractor. I don't know what kind of tractor. It looks like I don't know, like a McCormick, but it says Centaur on it. I don't know if that's something somebody put on there, if that was a kind of tractor from back in the day. So that was the hood to the tractor. And I got it at an auction on a pallet of stuff. I think I paid $30 for the whole pallet. And I still got all the rest of it. This is the first thing I used off it. But so I cut that, left the hood on it, and cut it off. So that way, you know, I could put this on and it would be protecting it. But that tank was probably built in the 50s or the 60s. I don't know. It's just as clean on the inside as the day it was built. And it didn't have a cap for when I got it, so I don't know if you can see down in there. Probably not. But that tank is just as nice in there. No rust. They don't make things like they used to. But yeah, I think that's a pretty good use for that tank anyway. I was never gonna have a tractor for that hood. Some people might be mad because I cut that hood up, but I don't think that hood was none too valuable. And I gotta take and paint this thing. I'm gonna paint it. I'm not gonna get too technical on like cleaning up the spatter. I mean, because I'm just running out of time for this project. I'll probably clean this stuff up here when I torched off that piece of angle iron that was on there. And the hydraulic tank, well, there's another problem. So the hydraulic tank that I got had a few little small leaks on the side where they welded on the the ears on it so they could attach it. So I brought it to my buddy who has a MIG welder, does welding, and I'm gonna have him weld it because I don't think I could weld that hydraulic tank with a stick welder without burning holes in it. I mean, I'm not a welder, just a logger with a welder. But yeah, this, I mean, I burnt a hole right here. Check this out. So I burnt a hole in that. I gotta fill that too. So tons of little stuff to do, but tonight I'm gonna sit down and right here and grind these things until that thing fits, listen to some tunes, and hopefully get that done. And then tomorrow I gotta see if I get this piston on and start working on that ram, get that on there. I'd like to get this done Monday or Tuesday, but I say that every week. It's been a couple weeks on this project, but I've had a lot of other stuff to do. I got, you know, other stuff that I do, and this isn't, you know, I don't know. I should have been spending more time on it. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, anyways, just a quick update, and I might show some of the work when I do the when I go to do the ram part of it. But I'm not showing the work because it's just too tedious. Well, it's Monday morning now, and we had some rain last night, but another quick update on this WoodSplitter project, the never-ending WoodSplitter project. So I've put on the cylinder. I did a whole bunch of grinding here to get that so that it would fit in here. I put this bolt in. That's 1.25 inches. But I mean, I don't like that very much. But I mean, I guess it is what it is. Can't really fix it. And then right here, I cut this off. I cut this off of there. Well, it was like that. And I've got this pin, which is a 1-inch pin. See how that fits? I mean, I don't know if I really like the tolerances on this thing. I mean, I don't like that, that's for sure. But I was wondering if it was the pin, so I got a 1-inch bolt. Let me grab that. So yeah, like I said, I was wondering if it was the pin that was the problem, because I mean, I really don't like that at all, or the cylinder. So I went down to Tractor Supply and picked up this 1-inch grade 8 hardened bolt, Chinesium of course, and I thought maybe, you know, I'll try this bolt out, see if it's any better. But you see right there, we got the same thing with this bolt. So this is it's in this cylinder. I don't know, like I said, they made this cylinder in China, and I don't know if their tolerances are that good, because I mean, that's an awful lot of slop. And if I had a lathe, I would make the pin that fit in there tight, same as the back. But of course, I don't have a lathe. I would like one. But yeah, so then what I got to do is I got to get this piece here. Let me move this forward. That's just sitting on there. I get this piece. It goes on like that, and I'm gonna have to cut holes in it with torch, and that's probably gonna make the whole thing even worse. But let me get that all pinned onto the cylinder, and then get my my parts all back on here, and get where this hits on there, and tack it in, pull it back apart, and then weld it. But we got bigger problems. Well, not bigger, but more. Like I said, this has been quite the build. So this is what came out off the ram there. These were the sides that, and look at how worn they are. Look at how worn out they are. I mean, there wasn't much more life left there. Same as this. And then this was underneath of it. So I called American WoodSplitters. That's who built this. And this is an old one. And there's some really good people, really nice people there. If I was buying a new splitter, I'd consider buying one from them. But they said they don't make them out of brass anymore because it's too expensive. So, so I give them the dimensions, and they said, well, they don't even stock that. They got different bolt patterns and sizes nowadays. So they said they could make it for me, but it'd be about 2 weeks out, and you know, I really want to get this done. So I decided to try making it myself. So I got some mild steel, 2-inch and 1.5 inches, and then I drilled it out with this fine drill press right here. This is all I got for a drill press. I'm not set up for a shop. I've never had a shop, so I've never bought drill presses and all that. So this is something that she picked up at a yard sale years ago. We used it to make plugs for a hardwood floor we were putting in that house right there. That house is probably 3/4 finished. Of course, it probably never get done, but anyway, I bought that house just so I didn't get a neighbor, really. But yeah, so that's what we bought this drill press for. It's not really great for metal. I used it, and it was about all it could do to drill that. So I drilled that all out, and I bought this right here, which is UHMW, I think. It's plastic. It's supposed to be at least as rugged as brass, but who knows, it's plastic, you know what I mean? But I'm using that underneath the ram in place of this brass plate right here, because brass to do this job was going to be over $700 from McMaster Car. Yeah, that would be the brass to make these two, and I would be making them like this. You know what I mean? Because I don't have a mill, and you'd probably, if you had a mill and you bought a thick brass bar, you could have made that a lot better with a Bridgeport. But of course I don't have one of those either, but I will. But and this plate, so it's gonna be over $700 just for the brass, and I didn't really want to put that kind of money into that. So I bought this metal, and then I bought this, and this is supposed to be as strong or stronger than brass. We'll see. I bought 2 of them, so in case I got to make another one in case it wears out real quick. And I'm gonna take and drill some grease fitting holes right here and right here, probably in each one of these, and put grease fittings in, so that way I can grease it. I'd like to be able to do it on the top, but that's an awful thick piece of metal, and that barely drill press can barely drill that 1/2 inch, but it probably could drill this. Put a couple grease fittings right here, but I probably won't do that. We'll just keep grease on this, and we won't keep any of that on there. I'm sure that'll ruin that plastic in a hurry. So that's where we're at. And then a quick note about that Centaur tractor hood. So the Centaur tractor company was first, I was in the 1920s, it was called Central Tractor. I think it was in Ohio. And then they went bankrupt around the crash in 29 or whatever, and reorganized and called themselves Centaur Tractor Company. And they were gray, actually. Somebody had painted this red. You can see, well, I don't know if you can really see the gray, but they were gray. And then they ended up going bankrupt again. I guess Leroy, they used Leroy engines, and Leroy acquired them, but the whole thing shut down 1942. So that tank right there is not any newer than 1942. It's actually a rare tractor, but I don't think it's too valuable, because I've seen whole tractors sell, you know, they sold at auction for around $900. So I mean, it's not like I cut up some valuable piece of history, but it just an interesting fact, I guess. But yeah, so I'm gonna get back at this. I'm not gonna shoot it, I'm not gonna film it. These videos of me tinkering on stuff, they don't do that good. And they take just as long to edit as any other video. So, I don't know. I don't even know. I may stop making videos until I go back logging. We'll see. I was already on this one, and so I decided I'll probably finish it. But yeah, anyways, that's a quick update on where we're at. And I'll bring it back in, I don't know, once I get this stuff put together, maybe before I do some welding. We'll see. All right. So yeah, I got the piston on, and this ram, I changed that to that's a bigger one than was on there. And of course I bought too long a bolt down to Tractor Supply, so I had to add some washers in, but yeah, you'll have that. And I got these on here to replace that brass, and then there's the plastic is underneath this ram. Hopefully that works. I put some grease fittings, I don't know if you can see them, I put some grease fittings up under there so I can grease that regularly. And then I did a bunch more welding on this, stacked up a bunch of weld. I don't want to have any problems with that 4-way when I'm splitting wood. So that's kind of where we're at. I got this marked out here for the tank. I'm going to cut those now with a torch. And I just got this tank back today from a friend of mine. He welded there. It was leaking right here on both sides. That's probably why they had it in the auction. It was part of a bunch of pallets of stuff that I bought. But he fixed that up so it's no longer leaking. I'm gonna clean it all up and paint it gray. That way, because gray would probably reflect the heat. I don't know if it helps. In my mind it helps, who knows. But black seems to absorb the heat. So I'm gonna do that. And then gotta get the motor put on, the battery put on, hoses, valve. I'm hoping probably to be done this tomorrow. But yeah, this is the old bulldozer here. I was using it to flip out wood splitter on its side. And now it's kind of become a makeshift workbench. And here's the oil. Just spent like $320 on those 6 buckets of AW46. So that's gonna be 30 gallons. Hopefully that fills that tank, but it sure is going to have a whole lot more capacity than it did, so hopefully it'll run cooler. But that's where we're at. And you know, when I get this put back together, I'll do another update, or when it's done we'll check it out and see how it goes. All right. Well, here we are. I got this thing mostly together. I got this piston on, this ram. I did a bunch more welding on that. So I got some hoses. That one's new. This was one that was on there, and the return line was one that was on there, and this one, but this one should have been changed. But there's so much money for that. Hose is like 8 foot long. There's so much money for those hoses that, I mean, it wasn't leaking, but it just has frayed spots. But you never know, that could last 20 years. But yeah, so I got everything on, and this is the I got this set up like this. I know people are gonna look at that and be like, oh, why didn't you run it under here? But I can't run it under there because this sets on a log when we're splitting. So this is setting on a big log, and the front is over the elevator. So if I had to go on top, it would be better under there for sure. But I thought about cutting a hole right in the side on each side and running it through, but that's really not going to gain anything, and it'll just weaken it anyway. So I guess we'll fire it up and see what happens. So I got this valve right here for the fuel shut off. Fix that. The dogs are singing this morning. But yeah, so you see the vibration. It's got quite a bit of vibration. It's not coming from the pump. The pump's brand new and it's lined up. I don't know, it's the motor, the way it's mounted maybe. So what I'm gonna do is today I'm gonna put some rubber underneath each one of where the bolts go down through, I guess, and see if that, because that vibration is just gonna wreck everything. It'll I don't know, it's annoying, number one, but number two, it shakes things apart, and where they're welded they start to crack, and I don't know, I don't want to have that. So I'm going to try to fix it with some rubber mounts under the motor, I guess. I got to do that. I got to put these I got to put some fenders on. They had fenders on it, but throughout, you know, the years we've mangled them. They're right, well, here's one right here. You see how that fender's all bent here, broke off there, so that's got to be fixed and straightened back out. And then got to straighten out those ears right here, get these straightened back out so the fenders sit like they're supposed to. I'm gonna do that and get the motor thing going, and probably use the ratchet straps or whatever to hold up these hoses where they need to be. And I guess Napa's supposed to have this this new sight glass in today, so I'll go down later on this afternoon and pick that up and hopefully put that on, and hopefully this will be done. That tank works great. I ended up having to take this seal out of it because this cap says it's vented, but it wasn't. Or maybe it just wasn't vented, I don't know. Let's see, and it's vented now. Hopefully it doesn't fall off. Thought about drilling a hole in it somewhere, but I don't want water leaking in there. Anyway, so that's just a quick update. Well, here we go with another update on this this fine wood splitter project. As you can see, I got the bulldozer out of here. Now I piled everything on the back of my truck, but yeah, yesterday I tried to fix this vibration problem with this motor here, and I mounted it on some rubber. There's I don't know if you can see right here, I got two pieces of that mud flap under where each bolt goes, and that didn't even help it at all. Started it up, vibrating just as bad as it was. The wrench was shaking on top of there. So then I pulled this pump out and started it, still just as much vibration. So this motor, it's a Harbor Freight Predator whatever 670 V twin. Chinesium is what it is, and it's been on there quite a while, and we split quite a lot of wood with it. So I don't know, but I'm getting a Honda. A new Honda for this is about $1,500 to $1,800. I don't even know if that would include the exhaust, but this exhaust might work, seeing as this is mostly just a copy of it, of a Honda. And I couldn't afford that, so I called down the saw shop, and he does small engines and stuff. And he had one that's for $500, a used one. I said, well, as long as it don't vibrate, it runs, don't vibrate, I'll take it. So right now I'm gonna go down there in a little while and see what's up. But I got these fenders I'm working on here. These are the fenders for that wood splitter, and they ended up getting all mangled up sometime along the way, so I took them off. But I want to get them back on, so I'm gonna straighten them out the best I can. They mount right here, right down on here. And I gotta straighten that one out on the other side because that one's pretty bent, and get them on. They'll protect this stuff right here from stones or whatever getting thrown up. So that's what I'm gonna work on now, and then I'm gonna go down and see if I can see how that motor's coming along, and hopefully get it today, because I got people calling now complaining they don't have their wood, you know, and I understand, but this thing's got to be working right. I'm not gonna go through another year messing with this thing. But anyways, that's just the update, and hopefully I get the other motor, and when I get that on, I'll do another update, I guess. Hopefully that'll be the last one. This will be done. Well, it's Saturday, and back on this project, so it's another quick update. This thing was really shaking. The rubber didn't help, and so I decided to get a different motor. So I'm taking this one apart. getting it off of here. And this is what I got here. It's a Honda V-twin, 20 horse. I don't know, it might be smaller than that one, I'm not sure. Look about the same to me. Looks like Harbor Freight Predator just knocked off a Honda, but so hopefully this one don't shake. The exhaust setup looks a little bit better, and I believe it's a quieter motor. I hope so anyway. And then those are the fenders. I did the best straightening job I could and welded a couple pieces back on them, and we'll see. Hopefully they work out. But yeah, right there, those are the fenders there. So I'm gonna try to get this other motor on here. It's got a whole mess of wiring. Look at this mess over here. This is what came with it. And the guy at the saw shop, he was messing with it. That must be, right there must be some kind of master switch. I don't know, that thing's headed. I'm deleting that freaking mess and this whole mess. It looks like I could put the box right on there off of that one, but I have another one. So we'll probably try that. It's a GX620. I don't know what that means. It must be smaller than this one then, because this one's a 670. So who knows, maybe it won't have the power. But then I did some more research online on the old interwebs, and come to find out this is not a good way of mounting it. It's not really gonna help the vibration. So I'm wondering if I put that one on, if I'm gonna have the same problem. And then I just wasted $500. But I'm gonna keep this motor for a spare. But yeah, so what I gotta do is I ordered a couple different isolators from, I ordered some from McMaster-Carr. Then I ordered also some off of eBay. And so if it shakes with that motor right there on it, then I'm gonna run it, because I got people screaming about their wood. You know how that goes. Oh, I thought I was gonna get my wood in May. Well, sometimes it don't go like planned, but sometimes it's to the point where you just want to say, hey, listen, call whoever you want to get your wood. I don't care. Because I mean, wood is, you could sell wood all the way up till freaking September. Dang, tons of people. There's a shortage here right now because of the price of pulp this winter. Nobody cut firewood, but yeah. So if this shakes, I'm gonna bring it over to the job and run it anyway. And when I get my mounts, I'll take it back apart and put the mounts on, and hopefully that'll stop it. I just don't sit well with me to do all this work to put this all together and then have it shake itself apart. I don't know. I just don't seem right. So I'm gonna try to cure this vibration problem. But yeah, that's pretty much where this job's at. Maybe I'll have it done today, maybe I won't. It's just the way it's been going. Well, so finally got this project done. So this is gonna be the final update. Maybe I'll split a little wood, throw that in at the end. But so it's all done now. How to get this motor here and put it together, wire it up. It's still kind of a mess of wiring, but I've got it all figured out. And I don't even know if this motor shakes less. I'm not sure. Then I had to move the battery. The battery was right there, right down in here, and it would get hot. The air blowing off the motor would blow across the top of the battery and heat it right up. And it's also blowing on this a little, so I don't know if that'll heat that oil up inside that line. I don't know, maybe I should make a heat shield, but I'm done making stuff for this for now. And so yeah, I put the battery over here. I'll go around over here. I've got the battery right here. I welded a plate in there and put the battery in right there. And then I got a 6-foot piece of wire and crimped the ends on and hooked it up, and it works good. It doesn't get hot there, and I think it'll be out of the way because we don't, there won't be any wood going in there, because the filter too, we don't want to hit the filter. So I think that'll be a good spot for the battery. I ended up putting this sight glass on, so that's all set now. So everything's all set. I got the fenders on, and they're still a little tweaked. That fender's still tweaked, but there's nothing I can do about it because it was smashed all the way down. and I had straightened it out the best I could. And the other one's a little straighter, but they look fine, and now they'll do the job. Keep stuff from flying onto the tank or the motor. So yeah, that motor I ended up putting a recoil. It come without a recoil on it, and so I had a recoil off an old Chinesium motor. It says Duramax. It was a single cylinder motor, but it's just another knockoff Honda. But they don't last like a Honda, I guess. So I put that recoil on. It bolted on. Looks kind of stupid blue, but whatever. And then I changed the oil, put a new filter. So this thing's ready to go. And I got some wood out back, and maybe I'll toss it over and bring it up and split a few pieces for the video. But finally got this done. It's been a long time in the making, and got to get it over to the job. All right, so I'm gonna get this thing fired up and split some wood through it. Run out of gas right off. Oh, that was smart. Forgot to turn the gas on. That was slick. Well, it's time to get this wood splitter here headed on over to the job to set it up so we can start doing the firewood. It's raining today, so I'm gonna head over there, and we got some work to do over there before I can get set up. But anyways, so this project is it's been a long time. I started it, thought it was going to be a week's project, turned into 3 weeks. A lot more work than I had anticipated, but it's finally done. And you saw me split the apple yesterday, so you can see it's quite a bit faster. When I do the video, we'll know exactly how much faster when I edit it. But anyway, if you like this type of content, please give this video a thumbs up, and consider subscribing to the channel. I was posting regular logging videos, but I'm not in the woods right now, and I'm not going to be so regular at posting the videos because of the time it takes to edit. I have a lot of things to do, and you know, it takes 8-10 hours to edit for a video, so I won't be posting regular content. But when I come across something that might be interesting, or I might do a firewood video, I don't know. And definitely when I get back in the woods, I will post regular content. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.